Shalom, sisters. This is a late night show, but all praises to Yahweh, His Son Yahweh Shai. And as promised, I said on my last class that today I will go over some garden tips. Some of my sisters that live farther out, y'all can probably catch this, but just in case, um, no one's able to catch this and you catch it afterwards and you have questions, put your questions in the comments of the at the end of the video or during the video, and we'll answer them accordingly. And the next time I have my next class, at the end of that, I will be able to answer questions about planting. So this kind of goes into Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verse 2, when it's a time, Salakia, um, 3 and 2, yeah. A time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted. So that goes into the plant world. A lot of sisters out here, they want to, they want to plant, they want to grow food with their family because they understand the times that we are in here in Babylon. So I'm gonna just give a little bit of pointers here and there and ask questions if you will. So the first thing you want to do if you're gonna plant is you need to plan. You have to plan out your what you want to do. Say you stay in an apartment and you don't have a land to really plant your plants in. You can do that inside as well. But if you're gonna do that, I suggest that you start out with something small and then work your way up because you can have all these plants around you. And it's happened to me sometimes. I mean, in my earlier years of planting, that I wasn't able to properly um, take care of my plants. You know, They let me tell you about something about plants. Plants is God's way of showing off, I like to say. And they're living organisms as well. So if me and my kids one year we did a study. We had three different little plants. One of them, we put some tomatoes into three different little pots, and one of them we spoke to nicely. The other one we spoke to mean, and the other one we didn't say anything to. So at the end of that study, when it's like a germination stage, so you do that for like 2 weeks, 14 days. And then the plant that we talked aggressive to, it did not grow at all. The one that we talked nice to, it grew very strong, and the one and fast, and the one that we did not say anything to, it grew like normal. It wasn't really, it grew, but it germinated. That's what they call it. When it comes out of the soil or out of the waters, because some people like to plant their plants in waters. That's one of the things they do. That's called germination. It comes out. Okay. So here's something I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna just say in the lamest, not saying y'all don't understand, but some women don't. I can't go to a sister and be like, hey, all your plants need to be facing the south window of your house. They're gonna be like, some of us don't even know where the east is. I'm not trying to be funny, but you may not know. So I'm gonna tell you the place that you notice the most sunlight at in your house, the longest, put the plants there. Okay, that's wherever that is. Just take a day and look around, like, oh, it's sunny in here, and just kind of check on it hour for hour. Because sometimes you will find that in the it may be a certain spot in the house where the sun comes up first and it looks shiny, and then about 11 o'clock it ain't shiny no more. That room is like kind of like just it's lit up but not like direct sunlight. But anyway, these let me show you the first type of the first type of gardening that you can do inside. Okay, See, my family, we're on celery hard. Okay. Let me show you this. Hello, I ain't blurring out anything. You see that? I'm trying to put it so the camera can pick it up. And we got the blur app on there, so it's gonna be, you can probably catch it. But if you can't, at the bottom of this whole pot right here, it was $1 at the Dollar Tree. You can get the seed starters $1 at Dollar Tree too. Like, I mean, the soil that you start your plants from, you can get that from the Dollar Tree too. But this is the actual end of a celery. So you cut the celery, and then the very end where you see, hold on, let me, because these are planted in, and I don't want to disturb them. But you pull it out. You could take it, put it in, get you like a plastic bowl, okay? Fill it up with water. Then you take the end of the celery, this part right here, minus this part that's actually came up. You just take the bottom part right here and put it in water, okay? Once you put it inside of water, at the end of every week, switch out the water, pour out the old water and put in the new water. Because when you do that, guess what ends up happening? Your plant can continue to grow, but within sometimes it can be a week, 2 weeks, but the plant actually sucks all the oxygen out of the water. So just leaving it in the H2 can do a lot more harm than it can do good. So always switch out your water, okay? Now, if you're like into faucet water, if you got faucet water and you don't want to get the bottles of water, like some people they'll get the gallon of water or what have you. Fill up a regular pitcher or a couple of like a gallon of a water jug, or you can get a regular water bottle like this. Fill that up with water and let it sit overnight, because like the chlorine and stuff that's in the water and all these chemicals will bend that, it'll like settle out. Because a lot of plants, I noticed that, like I was growing some black seeds the year before last, and inside they grew fine. I was watering them with water bottles, because I was my, I see that they like that. So that was the year that I decided to take them outside. And then I just started, like, when you water your garden with a hose, and I was noticing that they were dying like almost immediately. And then I realized the the chlorophyll in the water and all the other chemicals that they probably killing us with is something that is probably killing the plant. Let me see, make sure y'all heard me. Could be something that's actually killing the plant. So just for any cuttings, you can do that with celery, you can do it with carrots. And then that little piece over there, you probably didn't see it. The one that looked like is all jacked up, that was actually from a head of lettuce. So you can do that with a head of lettuce. The hard part, you can just put it right there inside of the water as well, and it will grow. Now it would take some time for it to grow. The celery grows almost instantly. You could see it coming through the middle. Like this, how long this one is. Like literally, I started this one like maybe a month ago, and it's getting that long. Okay. Now, so we got that from cuttings, regular cuttings, if you want to grow your plants. Or you can go to your local Walmart. You could go to your local Lowe's, Home Depot, if you will, and they have plants already grown out for you. Only thing you got to do is maintain them. But if you do go the route of, hey, I'm just going to go up here to and buy my plants already pretty much established, I think it would be best if you were to switch the soil. That's called transplanting. Okay. The plants that you should not transplant if they're in a good stage is cucumbers. Cucumbers die when you transplant them. For some reason, they just don't like to be bothered. So if you get one that's already established, usually they come with a trellis. A trellis is like a waist trainer for plants. That's the best way I can say. It holds everything in. So the plants won't be growing all over the ground, especially with cucumbers. This year, my we're doing kind of like a both type of thing. We're having a garden outside and we have a garden inside. Now, if you're going outside, I'm gonna get to you because you have a little bit more work to do depending upon which thing you chose to which type of style of growing you chose to go with. Okay, so let me just get to it. Now, here's some seeds and stuff that I have for myself. Now, when you're growing, the least you spend, the better off you'll be. To me, you don't really have to go like super fancy if you don't want to. But this is like for people that's like the upcycle. Upcycle, if you take certain regular items and you turn it into something else that could be useful. Like these, people take these water bottles and they can upcycle them. You know what I'm saying? So let me show you something else. Like them big pots, the huge pots that you get from what's it called? From Walmart and like a tub, like a little Tupperware, like these things right here. Now this is another reason why we're kind of late because we having technical difficulties with, you know, putting things, pictures and stuff up. So y'all can click on them and do that. But like I said, I live by my word. I said tonight and today this is gonna be. So anyway, so this is a regular tote. I found this in Walmart on sale for $3. Okay. And you can look, you say it looks like it's holes in it, right? Yep. I took them and you put holes on the bottom of it, the top. I use a wood heater, or you can use some people use a hot glue gun just for the heat. It's easier to put the holes inside on the plastic. You fill this up with dirt, and then you can just put the top on there and grow whatever you want to and put it outside if you want. I like the top part, and say for instance you don't want it outside, you want it inside. So this can be the lid can be the part that actually captures you put this on top of here like this, and voila. When you water it, you got something to catch the water, right? So that's just a little something that you know you can do to save money. Okay. Also, to get to the soil, you can get regular potting soil for just about anything. Now, when you get to the moisture, you want your soil to hold on to moisture. So you can put different things in there. I just got two examples. You can put some peat moss in there. That's really good for just putting it inside of your regular soil to kind of like help hold water, retain the water. This right here, that white stuff that y'all see, the light, it's inside of the a lot of um pots that y'all see. This is really good at retaining water as well. Because you want to keep it water. You want the plants to hold on to the water. Okay. Hold on to moisture. There's more oxygen that the plant can get to the root. Okay. But I would start off with regular plant potting mix. It's always worked for me. Now, let's get to some other things here. So if you want to grow on the inside, I suggest one tomato plant. Okay. Once you plant, if you plant a tomato plant, I think that you should have Felicia Ash, all praises. It was great. So if you got one of these things in there, all praises, sis. Yeah, I'm new, but you seem great. Thank you. All praises to the Most High. I'm glad that you're here. So let me see, because if you because you know that I'll probably go a little left if I keep yapping on. But yeah, so if you want to start, you can start it that way, or they have these things right here. Okay, hold on. Let's see. So I can get to it fast. I got a lot of stuff in my lap here. This right here, the greenhouse kit. This will run you about, I want to say about $11 after tax. These right here. It's 72 cells in these things. So what you do is they're really small. Look, I'll show you if I can get one out. I don't like really messing with these. You see that? Oh wow. Yeah, that sounds pretty intense, Sister Felicia. Really, wow. I hope that you get better. I hope it gets better for you. It seems like this mug keeps right there. You see, that's the peat. The peat that is called a pellet, a peat pellet. When you water these things, they will expand. You see, it's a little hole right there. You see that? You put that in the hole. You put where the hole is. You put the plant in there, and then you water it. Just water it, and then it'll just, just kind of keep an eye on it and stuff like that. And let me see. Um, yeah. So you can like do a row like this, row, another row, or what have you. Okay. And if you touching your plants, please wash your hands. Okay. Wash your hands and don't put nothing on them. Like my hands is dry. Like you can see it's super dry. You don't want to like put too much chemicals into your plants. If you put too many chemicals into your plants, it can hinder the way it grows. Okay. So I showed you these are would be the easiest things if you're new and you want to be like, you know what, I don't want nothing growing from I don't want nothing that somebody else already grow, because I don't know what chemicals they use, what pestilence they use. Pestilence is when they spray the plants for germ, like bugs. We don't want that. Okay. We want, and I'm iffy about it too as well. I ain't gonna lie to you. So if you're gonna go that route, you can, but just know you don't know what they use. But if you want to grow it from a seed, put it in there. As soon as you put the seeds in there, do not put them near light initially. Okay, put the top on here because it's gonna have a greenhouse effect. Put the top on there and put it in a place where it's dark. Then as soon as you see the seeds come in, that's when you start, then you put it in the light. Okay? That's very important. That it's something that some people don't know. Like if you go outside at night, you will catch a lot of people that garden or farm out at night, because that's when they can like transplant when it's not sunny outside, or plant new seeds, or they'll do it very, very early in the morning where it's still dark when they're doing that, because they know that if you don't want to have that beam of light with the seeds, because it could mess up the growing stages of it. Now, so that, like I said, inside, go with a tomato plant, go with strawberries are easy to grow on the inside. Lettuce is so easy to grow on the inside. And also a lot of our people out here have we have, the curses, and a lot of us have food stamps, EBT cards, if you will. If you take your EBT card, go on Amazon. There's a hydro garden called, I'm gonna put it in the chat, AeroGarden. Oops, garden. You put that in on Amazon, and it costs like $350, okay, with your card. However, you will get endless supply with that AeroGarden. It will tell you when it's time to give it plant food. It will tell you when the water is low. You can put it on vacation mode. You can you can you can put a trellis up in there. It's light on there. It comes with a light. It's a very good investment. I must say, it's a very, very good investment. So if you are going to get an AeroGarden, they come in all different shapes and sizes, but the one that has the Wi-Fi, you can hook it up to Wi-Fi. Choose what kind of garden you want to grow, and some you can get the pods already with the seeds in there. Only thing you got to do is pop it in there, and it's growing just by water. Okay, that's what they call hydro gardening. So if growing out of water, to me, in my experience with doing it is more convenient, is less messy. However, when it gets to it won't be able to really get to its full size unless you invest in a bigger, garden, a hydro garden they call it. So they have hydro gardens that's like $2,000-3,000, where you can literally put the pod in there, and it can grow it can have its full, it can grow up until 4 feet, whatever you got. So that's what I'm saying. Anything you grow in the hydro garden is very convenient. Is if you're having to do that, then I feel like that's better for you. Okay. Now, for outside, hold up, let me answer this too, because somebody's like, if someone may ask, well, if I have a hydro garden, what if I want to take what I grow in there and put it out in the dirt? As soon as your plant gets probably the length of my pinky, take it out of take it out and put it. Then you can put it outside, or you can put it in a container gardening. Okay. I have so many books and everything when it comes to gardening here, because it's important. We need to grow our own food. We need to start eating more from the land. This is how our bodies can be its healthiest. Okay. So now, outside. Outside, if a lot of us want to use natural dirt, okay? As simple as that sound, it's kind of a catch to it. I'm gonna tell you why. Because certain things, your soil is basically in two different categories, and that's alkaline and that's acidic. Okay, acidic is like rosemary grows in that, tomatoes can grow in that. What else? A little bit of maybe maybe some asparagus can be a little bit acidic, but everything else need to be alkaline. So, and then you don't panic, because it's like, oh my God, how am I tell that? How am I be able to tell that if it's alkaline or acidic? Okay, I'm gonna tell you. Wherever your land where you want to grow your garden, okay? Say you want to grow your garden in an area that's this big, okay? This is the front. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it over here. This represents your yard. Take a dirt sample from right here, right here, right here, and right here, and right here. That's 5 samples. Boom. Why are you taking those samples? Because you could take dirt from right here and it can test as being alkaline. But if you go right here, the same things aren't growing and you don't know why. And it's because it's acidic back there. So you always want to take a sample, okay? Now, how you can tell that the easiest and cheapest way possible that you can tell if you have alkaline or acidic soil, and that is by taking baking soda, okay? Not, take regular baking soda and sprinkle it all over. Actually, take the dirt, put like, I want to say maybe like 1/3 of a cup. Fill that up. Put that in the dirt. Get a whole cup of dirt and put like that much of water. Put about that much of water in there. Mix that bad boy up. Mix it up. Get it like muddy. Then take the baking soda and you could do like I want to say probably about 3 tablespoons. Sprinkle it on top of the mud. If it bubbles, that means that it's acidic. Okay, because when you add anything acidic to baking soda, what is it going to do? It's going to bubble. So if it bubbles, that means that you have a acidic soil. Okay. Now don't fret, don't feel weird about that, okay? Because you can, and this sounds nasty, you can take manure. Yes, cow manure, horse manure, some people use I chicken manure. I would go with cow manure, okay? And let me tell you this, I'm not trying to be funny or nothing, because I gotta say this because I don't know who I'm talking to. Don't use your own manure in the garden. I had to pause because I needed y'all to, that's how serious I am. Do not use your own manure in the garden. That's nasty. Okay. No one wants the first fruits coming from your butt cheeks. I'm just saying. So that's why it's funny when people are vegan, they're like, it's vegan, it's gonna hurt the animals. No matter where you go, animals have to be involved in the growing process. Okay, it's gonna have to do that. So anyway, if you take manure on, if your soil tests out to be acidic, you can get manure and start off with a half a bag and work that ground. And I'm gonna tell you how you do that. So a lot of people, like, you can take a hoe, I'm talking about the garden tool, okay, and just hit that ground, work the ground, like break up all the dirt, like break it up. It shouldn't be like flat at all. Take the manure and put it on top of that where you broke it up at, and then you mix it in. That's what they call, when you hear old folks say that you need to work that ground. You need to work it, like work all that manure in there. That will turn your soil to an alkaline soil. However, if you have an alkaline soil and you want to turn it into an acidic soil, coffee, beans, they're excellent for turning your soil acidic. Okay. Because like I have to, like, I'm talking about the top part of, like, you can use the regular coffee beans. If you don't drink coffee, you can just pour it on the soil. But if you're like, like me, you're trying to like have a little ecosystem going there. You just make your coffee, the filter that the coffee's in, take that, put it in like a tub, and usually us, we put it in an old coffee jug tub. Put it in there, the ones that you use with the filter if you want to, because that will dissolve. And you can mix stuff in there. Like I'll throw some eggs in there. You could throw bananas in there, and then you just blend that all up, and then that's your compost. You can make a compost that way. Okay. That's I should have covered that when we was talking about the inside, but you can also do that in the inside as well. But that's how you make the soil acidic. Okay. Now, when we already tested the ground, we know that it's acidic over here, we have alkaline over here, and over here is just in the middle. Okay. So, in my opinion, this is my opinion, what I'm about to show you now with these different seeds. Asparagus. Asparagus, I'm not blurring it out because of the company. It's just the way the filter is tonight. So the asparagus, right? Asparagus can be grown. I'm gonna read the back of it. In full sun, so it needs full sun, and it needs to be like 12 inches, the a whole ruler apart from each other when it's growing, right? And it can last up to 2 years, but I've no asparagus can come back every year on its own. Okay. So if it keeps coming, it'll come back and it'll come back. So you need to plant this in an area where you're not going to really mess with that ground, or you don't need to move it. Because once they're planted, they're going to be there for a while. Okay. You can plant this and it can be like mixed with, like, I'll just do alkaline for this. You can do a little acidic, but this will grow better like that. Okay. Full sun, remember? Okay. Now, with the next thing we got here, you gonna need, these are some foods that I think will be essential for your family. Like if something goes down, you can grab a couple of asparagus and munch on that. It'll make you feel full. Now, the next one here is seeded potatoes. I wish that this mug would not do this to me. It came seeded potatoes. It's 5 bulbs in here. Take that. Take this, each one of them, and if you can look closely, it's like a little root growing up on there. So if you take these, plant them in the ground. This needs full sun. Okay. Let me see, it's about the same, about 12 feet apart. And once you grow, the cool thing is, like, you can grow them in a little tomato bag or that little tote that I showed you in the beginning. You can fill that up and just kind of put it right and like sit the potatoes on the top and just cover it with soil. Okay, just a little bit of soil. And then all of the potatoes will grow underneath the ground, and then the flower will come up. Okay. When that flower look like it's about, that's it for the flower. Like it's like, oh my God, this they look like they about to die. That's the time that you need to come and dig them up, because they're gonna multiply fast underneath there. Okay. So potatoes. And you can't mention potatoes without their cousin, sweet potatoes. Okay. This is something that a virtuous woman, she works willingly with her hands. Okay. So this is going to help your family. If you don't want to do it, that's fine. But I know it seems like a lot, but I'm here to show you some little nicks and tricks. If you feel like, well, I don't know how to do this, try it. Start off with one little plant. Okay. Have one outside, have one outside, have one inside, whatever. Just try with one little plant. Okay. So now we back to sweet potatoes. The same thing. They're the same rules apply with the sweet potatoes. Okay. When you see the flower come up, it's time. The next thing you have here, Garlic. Garlic is a more I look to as a medicine as well. Okay? Because with that, that's like full sun, and you know how I just showed you the celery, right? You can do the same thing with the celery, I mean with the garlic, as you do with the celery. People don't know that though. I mean, it may take a long time. What's wrong with my phone? Now this mug is gonna do this to me tonight. Salakia sisters. The enemy try to do everything they can for me not to have this class tonight, but guess what? We're here and we're having it. Let me see. So, um, so you supposed to eat one. You can eat 1 or 2 cloves of garlic raw per day. Okay, it's like a it's an antioxidant that supports the body's protective mechanics against like damages with your liver and stuff like that. Um, and it also can lower your blood pressure as well. Like I said, it's really good for you. Garlic, onions. Onions are really good if you out there in the wilderness and your breath stink. Eat some onions. I mean, I know you like onions make your breath stink, and there some people they known to make your teeth whiter too. See, no one tell you that. It's a anti-inflammatory. It fights inflammation in the body. It, onions. It lowers your heart disease risk, and it also helps with blood clots. It protects against blood clots, and it is really good with high blood pressure as well. And if you eat it raw, it'll lower the cholesterol in your body, and it decreases your chances of stroke. Onions. So you want to have onions in your garden. Onions grow in the full sun, and you just plant them about 2 feet apart, 2 inches if you will. I'll do 4 inches to be safe, and it will grow with the it'll grow straight up. You see the picture? You probably don't see. It's supposed to be non-GMO. You want to look at the non-GMO ones, okay? Now I'm be honest with you. Like me personally, I'm like kind of I'm. This is like the beginning for me. It's like a rush job. Last year, I grew so much stuff, and it all went to waste when I had to go to the doctor with my daughter. But I'm kind of on where I actually eat the seeds. We eat like fruits and we plant the seeds. I have a little grape tree that's growing from a grape that I ate literally last year. We found some seeded grapes in Food Lion. We went and planted those things. I mean, we ate them, and I took one. Well, I say we saved all of them, but I planted one just to see, like, is this really real? And it took about 4 months for it to even germinate. That means come up out of because I grew it in the hydro garden. It to come out of the water. But now it's growing really strong. It's starting to vine out. So you can take seeds that you do have, I mean that you eat and regrow them. That's easy to do. Now we got lettuce here. Lettuce, you see that combo right there. Lettuce, you can go outside, cut off the top of it when it's growing and look like this, and then it'll grow back up all year long. But let me tell you something about lettuce. Do not grow it, and it needs full sun, but too much sun will kill it. Okay, it will like melt it down. Like you take your lettuce right now that you have, put it in a microwave or put it in the oven. You see how it turns? That's what happens when it's too much sun. Now, I personally I find a spot like towards the back of our garden where it's like a little bit of shade, but the sun can get there, but only for a couple of hours. I choose that because when you're gardening, when you get good at this, because you're going to get good at it, because you're going to get obsessed with it, you're going to want to look up more stuff about it. Is everything is timing in the sun. Okay. Now, if you put like each part of my garden, I know, okay, towards the back of my garden, it's going to get most of the light first, and then it's going to move forward. It's going to be light up there for a little bit, and then it's going to go away. So that's where you would plant. If you notice that in a spot in your garden, plant your lettuce, your kales there, okay? And when it's cool, you can like lettuce and stuff can last throughout the winter because it's in the refrigerator, lasts in the cold. That's just kind of, common sense a lot of times is with gardening as well. So you just plant a little bit of this lettuce, go and cut this off. When you grow your stuff, make sure you're actually eating it. It looks good. Oh, wow, it's coming in. This is great. Just cut it. The more you cut it off, the more it grows. If you don't cut it, it's not going to keep growing and giving you food. When you're cutting it off, you're letting the plant know, hey, I can make more because people are actually eating me, if that's the way you want to look at it. Beets. I had a very successful year with beets. I grew them in the fall, and they really lasted all the way up through the spring, surprisingly. And I planted them in pallets. These need a little aesthetic, just a little bit. And they kind of grow like the potatoes, to be honest with you, and the sweet potatoes. You plant it in, it's gonna grow underground, and then it's gonna like give you the leaf up top. The good thing about beets is that that's really good for your blood. It's really, really good for your blood. And say for instance, you are, us sisters, we like to do little stuff but for our lips. If you want to exfoliate your lips, you could use some brown cinnamon and put a beet mash up some beet juice in there, and it'll give your lips that natural red tint. You know, that's just something to if you into something like that. But beets are really, really good, and they're really good for facials as well. Okay, you want beets in your garden. We give that to our daughter because it's really good for the blood. Hold on, let me show you here. It has fewer calories. Of course, it helps with blood pressure. It's funny how all these plants we come across, we're planting helps with natural things that's killing our people today. Okay, they fight against those things. They fight inflammation, digestive health, brain health, anti-cancer properties, helps balance energy. All this is from beets. Beets is something that I think that we all should grow in our garden. Okay. You can even grow it inside. Grow you two, and then they'll keep you there. That you can keep them. You can keep those growing. Chop off when you chop off it's like the root. I mean the stick, the leaf right here, cut about right there. Take the rest of this. Take the leaf part. Put that in the ground or in the water like we discussed, and that'll start something anew as well. Okay. So beets, that's good because you're trying to grow stuff that will have that your family can use for medicine, and it can help them in the time of need. Hot peppers, I love them. Let me see if I can get those close. Hot peppers. No, no, no. He's not going to show. Well, it'll show right here. But those will grow like into a little tree. Okay. And it'll grow like a tomato plant. You're going to probably need a little trellis around there and everything. Grow these. These have, they add spice to your food. And if, say for instance, we are in a predicament where you are growing your food and you can't get to a hardware store to fight off ants and other creatures, if you break up one of these, dry them out, put them around, sprinkle it around the plants in your garden, it's going to keep the ants and the bugs away, and most of them anyway. It'll keep them away. So that's something to have. And say for instance, that's good for like you can turn it into, people can turn it into, like, I'm trying not to say for defense. Okay. You can grind those up and throw it in somebody's face. Okay. They're good for your digestive tract, for your heart, migraines, joint pains, improves your metabolism, and it can help with weight loss. Shalom, sister. And it reduces the cancer risk. Hey, sis, if you got any questions, you can ask in the comments, okay? That's the good sister right there. Okay, fights flu, colds, and fungal infections. So you might want to go ahead and get these hot peppers going here, because that can be for health, a little pestilent, and for defense. So we have those. Next thing I have on here. Now the peppers come in different colors, just to let you know. Everything that I'm showing you here, I'm growing I'm growing it. And it's a lot. But I don't grow just for myself, But the only reason why I'm saying, if you're going to grow, you need to learn about the inside. You need to learn about how to grow on the inside and outside, because if something happens, people are going to take your stuff from the outside. So at least you have the inside for a backup. That's why I said what I said about growing on the inside and outside. The next thing is the herbs. We got chamomile here. This is something good for you to grow. I'm trying to bring it up a little bit. This is something good for you to grow as a medicine, more so as a medicine. Okay. It helps with menstrual pain. If you out there and some of y'all probably ain't even gonna try to turn it into tea. You're gonna rip the whole thing out of the ground and start chewing on it. It treats diabetes, lowers your blood sugar. Of course, it reduces inflammation. It can also, people use this as a cancer treatment and cancer prevention. It helps with sleep, relax, treating colds, mild skin conditions. Chamomile. Okay. Chamomile, you can grow that in a little bit more acidic grounds. Okay. Right there. Okay. Chamomile. So, that's something you can grow for medicine. I have a whole bunch of lettuce, arugula. Grow this like you would the lettuce. Please try your best to not keep it in the sun too long, or it's going to be gone. And my favorite is, can you see it? What they try to say our national um our national plant is? Yes, watermelon. Mm. Watermelon crimson sweet. Let me tell you something. Watermelon is not as hard to grow than people think. Okay. It's a good source if you're hydrated. I'm gonna tell you that right now. If you dehydrated, and watermelon will set you aright. Hold on. And it's it now the only thing that makes it hard with growing watermelon is the fact that when the watermelon actually gets size, if you have it growing up like up onto something, it'll pull it all down because it's so heavy. But what I did the other year was I had put two old. You can go to like a back of Home Depot, Lowe's, and just talk to somebody back there and be like, "Look, I just need two small little pallets. Can I have them?" They'll probably give them to you, or Walmart, and they'll fit. They can fit in the back of your car, in your trunk, or what have you. And then you take two of those and you set them up like this. Okay. When you get to these 2 points up here, you need to put in it's called a plastic zip tie. Like you can buy them at the Dollar Tree, okay? And they'll hold them together. And as the watermelon grows, you can take, it's going to sound, listen to me very carefully on this next one, okay? You can go to the Dollar Tree and get you a pantyhose set, okay? Yes, I said pantyhose. You cut them pantyhose in, put the watermelon in there. It's going to hold it. Then put it in there while it's growing, and then you can staple it or kind of tie it around so that it don't fall, and it just continues to grow inside of the water, the hose. Okay, that works. So watermelon helps you stay hydrated, is anti-cancer effects, improves heart health, muscular degeneration, muscle soreness, and may aid skin health. So those some of the things you can have with watermelon. It's not that hard. If you can stay like if you're planning this, if you plan, hey, I'm gonna grow watermelons. Okay, watermelons needs to be in more of an aesthetic setting. I want to say full on sun. Have that bad boy in the sun and do not take it out. Watch it for pestilence. It's different types of bugs that'll grow on there. So kind of watch for that. And be able to make sure that you're pretty much pruning. Okay, that's pruning. Okay, I'm gonna tell you what pruning is. Pruning is, that extra leaf that's growing, the extra leaves that's just growing, out of control. And you don't see nothing growing on there. Cut those off, cut them off. At the bottom of each plant, okay, if you see like a thick bush, like underneath a tomato plant, that's why I wish y'all could see every plant that I'm saying, most of it is already past germination stage. And I have it in the house. But the another way of pruning is at the bottom of each plant, the it be leaves. But if you clear out the leaves, like cut them back, like cut them to like this is the stem and the leaves is growing out. Cut that stem off. If you cut them all off at the bottom, guess what ends up happening? The wind can just come in and get to the roots and to the bottom of the stem, and your plant can continue to grow healthy as well. Okay. I hope to have a video where I can show you these things. But right now, if you have any questions, like I said, you put them in the chat, or you can even after this video is not live anymore, put your questions in the chat, and I would, answer them for you. Okay. Now I'm almost done here. Spinach. Spinach is grown just like the lettuce. Okay. You grow it on the inside too. Spinach is like the best thing for brain health. Brain health, heart health is really good. Spinach is very good for that. So you want to grow let all the lettuces and spinaches and arugulas, grow that. Now here's one that I grew one year and I was really proud of it because I didn't think I could do it, but I didn't know if it would, you know, grow successfully. But that's bok choy. Bok choy has really good benefits. It has a good amount of vitamin C. It fights free radicals, like all that stuff that these electronics and stuff that we are around and that our bodies absorb, that type of things. It helps reduce risk of damage to your skin caused by sun, smoke, and pollution. So, oh wow. And it may help to fight signs of aging, such as fine lines and wrinkles, sisters. So I never put it physically on my face, but I can say that I can it makes it'll I wouldn't be surprised. I may try that just so I can have something to, talk to y'all about to see, we can if it's anti-aging, hey, I'll take one for the team to see. Now if I come back and my face look weird, just know I'm not sinning. And I just went out and tried the bok choy facial that we talked about. Let me see. We got squash. Squash grows so well. I mean, it was pretty much easy to grow. I ain't really had to do much to it at all. If you're growing um any of these plants, let me tell you something. The day that you grow them, because I made a mistake a lot of times when I be trying to wing it, because some things happen where you lose track of what's going on outside. Say I plant some plants today, okay? March the 21st, I planted some plants. Excuse me. From 2 weeks from now, I need to be able to add a plant plant food to it. I can't believe I got the hiccups. I gotta add plant food to them. And you can find plant food anywhere. You can find it, well, not anywhere. You can find them like at Dollar General, Family Dollar, Walmart. You can. Some people make their own plant food, and that's what through compost they can do that. I just choose to, or people use Epsom salt, for plant food. I wouldn't just use that alone, but they use that. Um, because if you feeding the plants, they can grow. It just soil and water isn't really enough to grow a plant these days. Okay. So just mark on your calendar you need to know every time you need to add food, because if you miss that, all of a sudden you're gonna come around and all your plants is dark, or they're getting yellow, they're just dying, and you're like, oh my God, I'm watering them every day, they're in the right soil. What's happening is because you're not giving them plant food. Okay. So that's something that you need to take consider. Oh, also, when you buy these bags from these potting mix bags, okay, or manure or what have you, there sometimes will be what they call fungus nets in them. They look kind of like baby mosquitoes, and they kind of look like nets. They between a mosquito and a net. They got long legs, whatever. But those come when you see those, because you'll notice, like, oh my God, I grew all these plants. Your husband gonna be fussing at you first, like, why you up there? You listening to that sister about growing plants? Now we got bugs all over our house. Now, if you notice that, first of all, you can fill up, say this is a water bottle, fill this much up with water, okay? All the way this much of your water bottle to water. This is a regular 16.9 ounce bottle. Fill that up. Oh, yes, sister. It's really nice. You can fill it up to about right here. My daughter's over there laughing. See, and look, sis, and it's fun too having your own garden. So you fill it up to about this right here. I ain't mean to dismiss you like that. It's like it's 12:36, but I'm just trying to move along. But if you got some stuff you want to put in and stuff, sis, let me know. Put it in there. We all want to learn. I'm always learnable and teachable when it comes to gardening. I don't think I know too much, because every time I think I know too much about gardening, something else comes around and I'm like, wait a minute, I gotta go look this up. But if you got them nets, fill that bad boy up to about right here. Okay. Then the rest you fill up with peroxide. Okay. Just kind of like rolling around like that. You can see that even with with the thing, roll it out like this, and you pour it around the base of the plant. Okay. You pour all around the base of the plant. And then those nets are growing, those nets are producing eggs. Okay. They usually are at the bottom, at the root of the plant, and they like kind of munch on them. But it ain't gonna kill them or nothing. But still, you don't want that nothing on your plant. They just thought of it, I wouldn't want my plants to go through that. So you pour the peroxide on the plant. You do that. I would do that with each one of the plants that you see. And you may want to just put it around the soil as well, because those nets stay in damp soil. Okay. Some people they call it bottom watering. Okay. But they'll bottom water they plant so that the soil won't get wet. Now, since I got this here, I'll just go ahead and use this as an example. Okay. You see that, right? Now, when you're bottom watering this part right here, you can put in like the sink, and you just sit it in the sink and then let it for like a couple of hours, and the water will absorb, and they'll feed it from the bottom. That's what some people do. It depends. For me, I do bottom watering, but I will always end up going through, watering through the top as well. So that's a way you can get rid of the nets. And on the outside, it ain't really gonna matter on outside. On the outside, you got way more problems. You got like bugs, possible fungus growing on there, all that stuff, ants taking over. So what you can do is it's called. Let me type it in the chat. You can get some neem oil that helps with killing like a lot of fungus and stuff. I'm glad your daughter is home now. Yeah, see, she's been home since June last year. Yeah. She's been home since June last year. I don't know if I said that when she was in the hospital. It's like in July last year. She was in the hospital from February to like July. Uh, was it about June? About Yeah, about July-ish. But she all praises. She's home now. As you can hear, I don't know, you heard her. She was just busting out laughing at her dad, and she's starting to, she's sitting up by herself, We docked her like 3 minutes. She set up on her own by herself. And she's, interacting. She's doing very well. All praise to Yahweh for that. All praises. This is another reason why for why it's important to me to grow food, because I know the food that I grow that's natural can help her heal. Food is a medicine for your body. No matter how you are what you eat. You could be a double cheeseburger, um, or you could be a little lettuce salad. Either way, I've noticed a difference. When I eat like fast food, I get that quick fix. But when I eat like something more filling and healthy, I feel a lot better. Yeah, conscious, all praises. It really is. Right, Melina? One of the sisters was asking about you. So, look, she looking around. That's funny. But so we got our watermelon. Okay, you can grow carrots. That's kind of like the same thing. Cucumbers are a great thing for just hydration. Cucumbers is good for everything around, like your face. You can really put them cold on your eyes, and it will like, help your eyes. Okay, it really will. And it's good for gut health, hydration. It's good for your skin. It's just so many benefits. And to me, it's like my garden. It was 1 year that I grew like 3 cucumber plants, and that was big for me. And it was coming in so nicely. Then my neighbor cut down her tree and killed all my cucumbers, and my garden just didn't feel good to me that year. It just didn't feel good at all, because it's just something about the cucumbers that makes it better. And I'm telling you, it's a beautiful feeling, whether you garden in your house or outside, where you can walk in there and pick out your plant and just eat it. Of course, you're gonna rinse it off a little bit, okay? And you can eat it and walk through your plants. Like my thing is, it's like when you come in the front of my garden, I had the herb garden right there. So I can easily, like sometimes with my husband be like, I'm about to make some spaghetti. So I'll go out and I will pluck some rosemary, some basil, like we'll get them from out there. Um, and it's really convenient for you. But basil is my thing. Basil just it just makes me feel so much calmer. And it's like I have to have basil in a garden. Like if it's not it's not basil or cucumbers. Those are the two things that is like I got to. If I don't have nothing else, I'm gonna have basil, cucumbers, and also a lot of rosemary. Rosemary. Now let me tell you now. Let's get on them herbs while we talking about them. Rosemary. If you grow rosemary, you better get ready for rosemary will take over any spot that you planted at. Okay. So I like to grow, you might want to grow them about, I would say about two ruler sizes, like the 12-inch rulers, two of those away from each other, because they are very invasive. They're going to take over. Peppermint, mint, sweet mint. I found a chocolate mint the other day. I almost bought that because I was like, I ain't never heard of chocolate mint, but that was too risky for me. I'm like, I don't know. But peppermint, mint will take over. People use that as like a blanket, like a decoration. And I'm gonna tell you a little secret about the peppermint and the mint. Okay, you plant the peppermint and the mint anywhere in the garden. Like I would say, I would plant it where you say you have a place like a fire pit area. Like we have a fire pit area. I am planting it all around there to keep the mosquitoes off your toes, away from you. Mosquitoes are the worst, okay? So that's something. Peppermint is going to take over your garden, okay? Rosemary is going to take over your garden. Know that. You can stop that. Say, I don't want to, I just want a little rosemary. Then you might want to take like put like some bricks around it to keep it from growing, or some rocks around where it is, or have it in a raised bed or something, like that's what they call like the little plant, like it looks like a table, but it's not. It's like you put plants in there that will control it. But if you're like, you got a little bit more space, you want to keep the mint all around because it helps with rodents too. Like mice would be in your garden. I seen a rabbit leaving our garden for the last 2 weeks. I'm trying to figure out where he going. Then I found his hole. Of course I covered it. You know what I'm saying? I love nature, but I need this to be a successful growing season because my family depends on it, right? So that's something too. And say for instance, you live in a place that you have deers. Deers come up and they eat your food. I'm gonna tell you something. Elephant ears will repel deers. I didn't even mean for that to even rhyme, but it did. Elephant ears, no one knows why, but it like deers won't go near it. I know plenty of gardeners and farmers that say if they put elephant ears in a space, it's not going to grow. I mean, the deer won't go in that part of the garden. No one knows. Maybe it's like a chemical thing or what have you. And the good thing is, like, I ain't gonna lie to you, an elephant ear seed is about this big, like the big ones. If you plant one, you're gonna get about 6 to 8 new bulbs in that. And that's a whole nother lesson on how to dig them up and separate the seeds and stuff like that. It's easy, but it's like I ain't gonna give you too much of the meat. I'm just trying to keep you close as I can to the milk. So far, no one has any questions. I think we're moving pretty well now. So we have squash and things like that we can grow. Now, so after all this being said, I'm gonna take some pictures. Hopefully, um, my Lord can fix it so that I can upload them on here and show you guys, and it come out clear or what have you. But that's pretty much the basis of what I have for now. If you're watering outside, watering your plants outside, and you're using faucet water, I mean, the water from the hose, I suggest you get a bucket like the ones I just showed you, but don't have the holes in it. Fill it up fill it up at night, and then in the morning you can dump your little, your garden buckets in there and water your plants, because you don't want to kill everything that you have. Like, you might at first, it won't kill your plants, the faucet water or the water from the hose, if you will. It won't kill your plants, but eventually they gonna get sick, and they'll die out, and that'll be unfortunate, because it could be coming at a time that we need to have our food, but I'm not saying, hey guys, the world's coming to an end now and we need to grow our food and all the other stuff. We just need to be like the ant, the Bible says, and gather and plant. Is your own paradise. When you're around plants, I'm telling you, I feel at peace. It's peace. I have so many plants around me and that's the only thing I can keep bringing in here. My husband, he wouldn't say nothing. He was like, okay, well, it's for air or what have you. We can go into propagation, however people pronounce it. I know how to do that as well. Take one plant, take from a stem and grow another one. That's really easy to do. So it's not as hard as you think. You just got to be on top of when you're you got to be on top of the water. Okay, that's the only thing when you're doing that. Make sure your water is being changed, because if you don't, the plant will suck up the oxygen and your plant will start to die. Okay, so remember that. And then when you out there, just make it your thing. It's okay if you just start out low. Don't get ahead of yourself, and research. If you want to say, okay, I want to grow tomatoes, you need to learn about, you need to look into where you can put your tomato plant, how you can protect it, because it ain't just the bird. I mean, it ain't just the ants and stuff. Birds be coming in and they be biting on your stuff too. So there's like nets you got to invest in. There's so much things you got to invest in when planting. But I'm telling you, like Sister Adrian said, she says relaxing as well. Having a garden is so relaxing. Even the weeding, when you're like going out there, because when weeds grow into your around your garden, it's so it's like plucking them. I don't know if you can now, if you plucking weeds in the heat, in the high sun, you are tripping. You are tripping. You need to come out there like it's a window. I want to say the safest thing you could do, my sisters, right at first, like 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock to about 9 o'clock, you in the safe zone. You ain't gonna get too hot. The sun ain't gonna bother you too much. But around 10, 11, 12, mm-mm. You can get into some serious heat issues. Put some sunblock on. I was like that. I ain't put no sunblock on. I'm black. And then next thing I know, I'm around here. I was so dark when not even from the sun. It was like little sunburns on my cheek. They always hit my cheek and right here, because my sun hat stops right here. So it always hit my cheeks and stuff. And it hurt and it used to burn. But I'm gonna tell you something, get some aloe vera, put it on there, rinse it off real fast, hit it with some witch hazel and some CBD oil, you're good. Okay. But back to what I was saying about the gardening, like those some little tips, like little small tips. When you out there and you on your knees, make sure you have some padding. Okay. Make sure you always have padding when you out there gardening on your knees. And then if you're gonna bend over, you need to like don't. I wouldn't recommend you just bending over, because your back gonna start hurting. You're gonna have issues. Um, that's something that I wish somebody would have told me, because I was out there thinking that I was getting into my old. I'm picking up the Thor's hammer. I'm about to do something, and the next thing I know, my back started hurting. Hold on, let me see. What's this? Sis said blueberries have been hard for me to grow. They haven't produced any fruit for me. Any advice? Okay, so they have these little, it's like a shrug, like it looked like a little spike. You know what I'm talking about, Sister Adrian? And you can put near the plant. If you put it near there, that should help it grow. But let me tell you something that I learned about these little birds out here. Them birds, if you don't put a net on them, they will get, as soon as a blueberry come, they'll come in and eat them every time. They destroy our tree every year. Like we always see the beginning. I don't know if you're seeing the beginning of it come out, and then all of a sudden there it seems like they just disappear. Squirrels love blueberries. All birds, they love them. Those is main too, because we have a mulberry tree. That mulberry tree be taken. We gotta hurry up and get all the mulberries off, because the birds are going to get it, and the squirrels, like immediately, they fast. So that may be something I would suggest to get a net. And then when you do get a net, I would, those green spikes that you could put in the ground, put on both on each side and wrap the net all the way around through there. Um, and then the birds, because people will just throw the net over over their plant, and I mean over the bush or the shrub, and they don't even say nothing. They don't, I mean, not say nothing, but they don't even do anything, and the birds just go right to the little thing and just and still eat on it right through the little net. So that should let you know right there that we gotta like make it a wider base, like two little sticks or two of those green spikes, put the net on there. That way if they try to fly and eat it, their beaks can't get close to it. So that's probably what it is. They love, I know down here in North Carolina, them birds ain't no joke, and the squirrels. I thought I seen um one of those birds do, I mean, one of those two of them squirrels do a drug transaction in my garden, but I don't know. They'll eat up all your stuff. But that's just something that I noticed too with the blueberries and the sunflowers. Sunflower is the most favorite flower. Yep, that's exactly what happens. Yeah, yeah. See, that's I talked to like three other gardeners and over the years, and they said the same thing about the blueberries and the mulberries or any type of berries, especially the strawberries out here. But what I was about to say about the sunflowers. It's sad that you have to net your sunflowers as well, because squirrels will crawl right up there and get the seeds along with all the birds, and then you just left with like a blueberry, I mean a sunflower with holes in it. Now, if you do grow sunflowers, I would suggest to plant them away from everything. You can grow corn near them. Um, you can, but I just noticed that sunflowers would take up any nourishment that any plant has around it, because it's going to grow big. If you get the mammoth one, I love the mammoth sunflowers. We had one that grew taller than our house one year. So that came from um taking the seeds and taking the seeds and regrowing them and growing in each generation. They'll grow. Now let me tell you this too, sisters. If you cannot, because I don't know anybody into it. It's some sister that's watching this, like Sister Adrian, and she knows about gardening and stuff. But we are not supposed to crossbreed any plants. Okay, you can't turn like one year, like a plants have like family G. It's broke down into like different sections. But if something's in the same family, and but it's not in the same like the gene pool, what have you, you can grow it. Like I was going to mix a black seed and a oregano plant together, because those are the two most potent oils in the world: oregano oil and black seed oil. Those are most two potentest oils in the world. And I was thinking, like, they part of the same family, like they really need the same conditions to grow. Maybe if I can mix those together. I had a whole plan to have have them pollinated, and putting the pollinated part in the female part. I know about that stuff, but I told my husband about it right before I was about to do it. I was like, yeah, I'm about to crossbreed. I'm about to be, doing something on another level. He's like, but it's against the law. And I was like, you need the law of the United States. And he's like, no, the law is a law in the Bible that you're not supposed to do that. Hold up, let me pull that up. Hold on, sisters. Y'all still here with me. I'm pretty sure it is in Leviticus. Can you find it? You have that for me? So my husband, he's gonna pull it up for me because I thought I had it marked in here, but I don't. Let me see. But we're not supposed to do that. And like one year, I had two different types of lavenders grow. Here, you need this one. But I had two different types of lavenders grow into one plant. It was beautiful. I think it was a fern leaf lavender and a English ivy, a English lavender. I grew both of those beside each other, and like when that next year, I don't know how, but I mean, I did it, but I didn't think it was gonna do anything. Mhm. I did something. I mean, I tried it, but I didn't think it would do anything. And then the next year, in the spot exactly in between those two lavenders, a new lavender grew. It looked like them two mixed. I can't describe it, but it was beautiful. And then I kind of got nervous because I'm like, okay, I don't know what the new benefits of these would be or none of that. So it was just something that I just looked at and kind of know that I can do this. But Leviticus 19:19, ye shall keep my statutes. Thou shalt not let thy cattle gender with a diverse kind. Thou shalt not sow thy field with mingled seeds. Neither shall a garment mingle of linen and woolen come upon thee. So that pretty much says like you're not supposed to like crossbreed. You're not supposed to like sow them and plant seeds like in in a how I'm trying to word it correctly. Like you just I'm trying to word it correctly. So you're not supposed to yeah, you're not supposed to plant them together, plants like that. Cause and my husband he's helping me out. See, yeah, the seeds can come together and make something that you don't even know what the benefits of it is, to be honest. Like some things you think like, okay, I could blend this together and make something new, but you can make something very poison. You can make two plants that has perfectly good qualities to help you, and then when you mix them together, poison or um or it could affect make you have a rash. What about the apples who are mixed? You mean like red apples, yellow apples? Because those are they still are apples. It's like a different kind. Like it's different kinds of lavenders. It's different names of lavenders. It's different names of watermelons. It's different names of um blueberries. It's different names for beets. Um, like lettuce got different names. I'm trying to find cucumbers, like that. But it's like I'm not taking like a red apple that like a regular red apple. We're gonna call it just for the sake of people don't know what we're talking about. You take a regular red apple and then you take um or orange. Hmm? Yeah, or orange or cabbage, and you want to make a new superfruit. Like don't do that. or you like just stuff that don't make no sense, like how they taking our genes and they mixing it with a frog, or they're mixing it with a fish, or that's like, why are you doing that? Why you the Most High made everything separate? Why are you trying to mix it up? Kind of like that, you know what I'm saying? Like a blueberry, like Pink Lady and Honeycrisp. I think they are mixed seeds that make a new brand of apple. Not sure if explaining right. So okay, but they both are apples, right? They both are apples, like the little Pink Lady. Like you're not gonna take a Pink Lady seed and a Honey Crisp seed and be like, hey, I'm gonna make a new gene of apples. I mean, as long as it's an apple, the right, babe. If I'm am I explaining this right, my lord? As long as it's an apple. Now you take a Pink Lady, a Honey Crisp apple, and you mix it with a English lavender, because you want a sweet, soothing apple that you can eat into to make you feel good. Oh yeah, okay. I was like, wait, I hope I was like, am I saying it right? I was like, oh my God, am I saying it right? But yeah, you don't want to take that and then you just totally mix them, if that makes sense. I hope I'm saying this right. I hope not I'm not confusing anyone. Like say don't try to play God. Yeah, if you try to play God, don't try to play God and make a new creation. Just don't do. It's a different from you walking down and you're planting and you digging something up and you see a broccoli that's underground. You're like, oh my God, there's a broccoli underground. It's already there. And science has made it after you. Sister Adrian, she discovered a new string of broccoli that we never knew grew under the ground. Or the difference, or you take the broccoli and you mix it with onion with a potato and grow it underneath the ground, and that's how it's made. Because that's basically what I'm trying to say there. I hope I'm explaining it right. Look, I'm scratching my head like I hope I'm saying it right, because it's 1 a.m. here, but this is not is the same as 12 noon to me, because this is I be up doing stuff for the family. We all know how that is as women, but these are um okay, kind. Okay, all praises. So these are just some of the things that I'm growing here. I'm going to take more pictures, and I'm going to take pictures of the gardens, the things that we grow. Remember, if you have a garden outside, I suggest you have a couple plants that you have inside, just in case something happens to the outside. Okay. Like here in our town, like if you collect rainwater, the city's going to come and knock it over. So water is like the biggest bill of gardening. Because those things need to be those plants need to be watered. But if, like I said, if you put it, I'm gonna put my email up here. So if you got want to know other ways to help with water, I can say I will let you know then, from the tentsofgad@gmail.com. Yeah. So that is from the tents of Gad, yeah, at gmail.com. If you got questions about that, but I hope if anybody else have any questions, I'll wait a couple of minutes. Ask me anything. When it comes to gardening, there's no stupid answer. I promise you at all. It's not. You you have a sister, I'm here. I'm gonna have another one like this. You got sisters like Sister Adrian at Gardens. She can answer some questions as well when it comes to gardening. I've been doing it I've been having active hands and working in the garden since I was a young child. And I done grew corn, shucked corn. I done grew about everything there is to I ain't grew everything there is to grow. I ain't gonna lie like that, but everything there is immediate for you to eat. Okay. I've grown that. I have not had chickens. I haven't had a chicken farm. That's something that I'm very much interested in the near future. And I ain't gonna lie to you, I do be wanting to I be seeing them chickens running around. I do be wanting to kidnap one of them chickens and just make them a star over here. One of the hens, but the roosters, if you will. But I never dealt with wildlife. Like I worked on a farm. Like I used to help like milk cows and help with like do chores on the farm just briefly. But as I got older and I had children, I'm like, wait, my kids, they need to learn this. And then with homeschooling, I just, you know, when you're teaching science, like the ecosystem, is nothing better than having a garden to do that out of, you know. And then when you're visiting camps or you have a camp coming over or what have you, and you really give your first fruits, like you're doing it like you used to do back in the day, when we were here the first time, like that feels great. I love giving away like my first fruits because I know that I'm honoring the most high. That's what you're supposed to do with it, your first fruits. You can give it away to people that that would use it and don't just sit on it and just let it go bad, because it took a lot of work. And y'all can do it. I'm telling you, y'all, us sisters, y'all are stronger than you think you are. First of all, okay, that's what makes a virtuous woman. She's strong. She's strong out in the field. She considers a field. She buys it. That's what we do. All the women that we in the Bible, usually they are working, they're doing something. And it's so easy to garden. Your family would thank you. And I'm gonna tell you something. When the cucumbers, lettuce, herbs, all that, when you eat that, and then you eat what the grocery store has, that's when you're going to realize that they're doing something to our foods. You're going to realize that. And you're going to realize just because it ain't bright green, because a lot of stuff they put dye in that stuff too. That causes problems with your body, those types of dyes. But if you go ahead, you plant your own stuff, you're gonna realize immediately, like, hey, this is so much different. And then you're gonna wanna your body absorb the way your body, when you eating what you grew and it absorbs it, it's like your body's been missing it. It like you can tell, like I'm telling you, when I my eyes used to roll in the back of my head when I used to eat my cucumbers and stuff. But so you know, all praise to the Most High for the people that came in. Um, I don't know who this sister Felicia is, Felicia or the trade. Um, that all praises to the Most High that you came in. I hope you was able to relieve yourself. Okay. Um, let me see. The daughter of Zion, all praises for you. Adrian, Sister Adrian, all praises. I thank you guys for tuning in. And like I said, if y'all, after hearing this video, y'all got other questions, please send me a message. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I'm not the type of person that ignores people. You know how it is, ladies. When you sit up here, you got your husband, your kids, things get sidetracked, and already know this is my favorite time of the year. This is the real New Year's when the when the earth replenishes itself, when things start to grow, and I love it because that's when I can go outside, I can plant or what have you. And y'all also, if y'all got questions on how to set up a garden bed, I can answer those as well for you. So your garden bed will never look dry. Like, it'll always be flowers, some type of flower growing in there. I can help you with that. And on how of laying mulch. And also in your area, you might have something that delivers free wood chips. So if you have that service, and you need to see if you have that service, if you do, then you can go ahead and use that as mulch, and you can save hundreds of dollars when it comes to your plants or what have you. Well, I don't think nobody else have any questions. All praises to Yahweh, and I just want to just thank him. Don't think because I didn't really mention any, I didn't go into depth with Bible verses. I just want y'all to get extra skills. I tell y'all these things, but I don't show you. Like, I don't think that's fair. I can. It's easy for someone to say, "Hey, you're doing this wrong, this wrong, this wrong, this wrong, this wrong," but who can say, "Hey, and this is how you fix it"? I want to tell you what's wrong and what we need to work on so we get to these gates and how to fix it. Okay. Now, growing a bunch of food for your family is not going to get you in the gates, but I'll tell you, it'll make you a wise woman to make the best foods for you and your family if time comes. Okay. And if you're learning to grow this food, you might need to go ahead and set up some courses on how to defend yourself, because if time hits, they're gonna try to kill y'all for that food. Okay, planting food and learning how to defend your household is a hand-to-hand thing. Now, I can't have a class on showing y'all how to take someone down if they eat your, they come and try to steal your food in that day. But you go and hit my email up, you never know what type of information you'll get concerning the matter. Okay. So Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Shamara Thumb, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Baraka Thumb, to all of my sisters. I love you guys. And I will see y'all next week with another lesson. And if you have any, let me see. If you want any beard oil, hair crowns, tassels, that's another video that I haven't forgot about, y'all sisters. We still gonna work on getting those getting those that videos on how to make tassels, and then also I want to do a future video on how to make garments and head crowns, because I feel like if you make them for your household, it's a lot more personal. Con? Well, with that being said, love you guys, and Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, Shamara Atham.